So I've known Judge Bumb for almost exactly 35 years. We started the same day out of our clerkships at Riker Danzig in Morristown. And I can recall vividly to this day sitting there in the waiting room waiting to meet the partners there, and in walks Renee and basically took the place by storm.
Chief Judge Bumb and I met in 2006. Ironically, even though we both graduated from Rutgers Law School, we didn't have the pleasure of knowing each other while we attended the school. So we became colleagues in 2006. I became a U.S. magistrate judge. She became a U.S. district judge in 2006. And over the years, we have just had the best time getting to know each other. First, of course, as colleagues, and now really as good friends.
So I learned early on that she grew up on a 1,000-acre farm in Sandusky, Ohio, and had to get up every morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, and do chores. And it was like a job she had from childhood, in addition to going to school and doing all the normal things that kids do.
A lot of people don't know this about Chief Judge Bumb. She didn't start out wanting to be a lawyer. She started out wanting to work in foreign service and actually to become an ambassador one day. And in order to pay the bills, she decided to become a paralegal. And that is where she fell in love with the law.
Renee came over to the U.S. Attorney's Office, took that by storm as well. And not just the way that she practiced, but also her personality, her infectious laugh.
She has a laugh that next to my laugh, quite frankly, we take up a room. My laugh is said to be a Fred Munster laugh. I would not dare characterize her laugh, but all I can tell you is when we're together, you know we're having a good time.
Law enforcement can be a pretty rough place in terms of language, and Renee just would not give in to that. So if you cursed in her presence, there was a fine attached. And when she eventually became the attorney in charge in the Camden office, there was a bucket when you went in. And some of the agents and some of the attorneys, we would just deposit the money in advance, knowing that, some of these words would slip and we would be assessed a fine.
Chief Judge Bumb is one of those people that cares, that, truly is committed to making sure you are seen and you are heard, and that that she is thinking of you. And so, during my darkest hours, when my only child was murdered, I can tell you that she reached out to me on such a personal level to offer comfort, to offer support. And upon my return to work has been just that, just a shoulder to lean on, a person to call just because, and really it just takes an interest in your life. And I love that about her, is that she's so authentic, so genuine, so caring.
Being chief judge could be a lot like herding cats. I mean, you have some authority, but not a lot. And so you have to persuade people sometimes that it's their idea to move forward. But Renee has all the talents needed for that.
Obviously, you're carrying your own caseload, but now you are the face of the district court. You are responsible for every aspect of the district court, starting with your district judges and your colleagues, magistrate judges, bankruptcy judges. You're working with, the various agencies, pretrial services agency, probation. You've got to deal with the clerk's office and of course, manage the everyday happenings, if you will, of the U.S. District Court for the District of New Jersey. And so it takes a very unique person to do that, and to do it in such a way that everyone feels accounted for and everyone feels listened to. One of the things that I love, I asked Chief Judge Bumb, so what kind of leader do you want to be? And without skipping a beat, she said to me, I don't see myself as a leader. I see myself as a gatherer. And that is the way that she really manages her tremendous responsibility. It's less about telling us what we have to do and more about rolling up her sleeves and figuring out what we have to do. I think that if you were to ask the Chief Judge Bumb what's her biggest professional and personal accomplishments, first, as far as professional goes, she says all of the decisions she's ever rendered are her biggest professional accomplishments. In terms of her personal accomplishments, I think without a doubt it's going to be those 3 children of hers, Elizabeth, Katrina, and Liam. They are her biggest personal accomplishments. They are everything to her. She is a phenomenal mother. She is their biggest cheerleader. She is their biggest supporter. She really is their biggest advocate. And I know that for her, family first, always.
Listen, I think it's a great occasion for Rutgers to recognize Renee as one of its distinguished alums. Clearly, she merits that just on the basis of her career, but also the kind of example she's led, the life she's led as a person.
I can't think of anyone else that I'd like to see today being honored by Rutgers Law School. Our chief judge is someone that has worked her entire career on not only being a great judge, but being a phenomenal lawyer, as well as a phenomenal parent to her children and wife to her husband, Kevin. She is an all-around excellent human being, and I'm just so grateful to call her my friend.